Okay.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the next episode. And today our guest is Benjamin Achache. Did I get the last name right?
Yes, you did. Hi,
All right.
everybody.
Hey everybody, perfect, awesome. That's half the battle, getting people's names right. So his company is Marphyl, and is that correct? I said that correct too?
Yes, as
There we
well.
go, right? uh, and that was the company was born to provide 100% natural and wild superfood that will optimize health. They expose marine. What's the word on that one?
Phytoplankton.
Phytoplankton. I wouldn't have got that one right.
Okay.
It totally reads different than it actually sounds.
Yeah.
So after seeing these amazing and nourishing benefits to their health that came with regular consumption of this, they decided to work towards bringing different forms of the wholesome superfood to as many people as possible. And Benjamin, he comes from a small town actually south of France. Growing up in nature's beauty, spent a lot of his childhood outdoors, and he just talked to me about where they go out to Nanaimo, close to Vancouver here, which we'll talk a little bit about. Years later, his career-led path to work in finance in Canada. So welcome, and so tell us a little bit how you got into what you're into today, because that's a little bit different than finance, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. So, I first came here in Vancouver on a project in 2016, 2015, and that's where I met my wife, now wife. And, she was already linked to health and
Right,
to that marine phytoplankton business. So, I came on board and we created Marphyl then, which was, there to promote marine phytoplankton to the world.
okay,
We have different applications from it, which I'm sure we'll go through later. But from a health supplement, which and then our bestseller product, which is a plant food, an organic plant food,
right.
and that's where we are here today.
Nice. Alexa off. For some reason, my Alexa picked something up right now. Could you hear it? As you're talking, I can hear it going in the
I
background.
don't know if it was somebody ringing the phone somewhere else. It's good.
Right. Good old Alexa, eh? Comes on,
Yeah.
doesn't know when to come out at the right times. We haven't trained her properly yet. Well, that's amazing what you guys are doing, and the company and stuff like that. So, you guys, did you start the company in Vancouver?
Yes, so the farm was already there, and we
Okay,
created Marphyl to promote the product and to bring to market a different line of product under a nicely done brand
right,
to promote those products and to try to reach as many people as possible.
right. So why did you decide to get into that type of product?
I think, when I first learned about it with my wife, we thought it was absolutely amazing, the benefit that you get from it. I mean, phytoplankton is the base of the food chain. There is nothing
Okay,
below it.
right,
So, it's without phytoplankton, there is no life on Earth. Like 3/4 of the breath you're taking right now, it's thanks to phytoplankton.
huh, I didn't know that.
Yes, it's according to NASA. So it's very, it's literally is the base of the food chain. There is not a single species in the marine ecosystem that doesn't eat phytoplankton. And in the Pacific Northwest being so rich, such a rich ecosystem, phytoplankton thrives there. So we managed to harvest it like 100% naturally. And as part of the process, when we harvest the phytoplankton at the end with the harvest that we get, we always send back more than what we took from the
Okay,
ocean. This way we don't we have no impact whatsoever on the ecosystem, except pretty much because as it's a plant, right? So
right,
as for the photosynthesis, it removes CO2 and releases oxygen. So that's pretty much our only impact on the ecosystem, like pretty much removing carbon and giving oxygen. That's
right.
it.
That's amazing.
And we keep the harvest, and then from it we make the different line of product that we have.
That's amazing. So, do you guys do you actually like farm it
Yeah, I
in
mean
the ocean?
technically
So,
it's farming, meaning because if it was done in the sea, if you just go and collect the sea, you're not going to have a high enough concentration because all the
right,
marine life is feeding out of it. So
got
we
it.
have to kind of take it out of it. It reproduces naturally outside of the ocean, and just because there is no marine life eating it, so it reproduces exponentially. And at some point, like every, reproduction species, if you want to say, it reached a certain level that is too much and then it stopped reproducing. Not stop reproducing, but it's at capacity, right? So it doesn't reproduce more because being in the tank, it's at capacity. And that's when we filter it, and then, we send some of it back into the ocean and some of it we keep it for our production.
Okay, interesting. So how long once out of the ocean and then you start to farm it? How long? What's the time
So
process?
the process of the bloom, if you want to say it, between the moment it first come in and the moment when we filter it, it's about 1 to 2 weeks, depending on the seasons. Because as a plant, sometimes it differs if it's summer, spring, fall, winter, or how long it might take. But that's roughly what it is.
Right. So you can farm it in winter also?
Yes.
Huh.
We have up to 80 different species in BC, for British Columbia. And so the species vary a bit depending on the season, just like fruit and veggies, right?
Right.
But that's, we always have that kind of constant, up to 80 different species.
Right. That's interesting. So
the ecosystem, the marine ecosystem's got to eat as well in the winter. So there is still happening there.
So is that, because I haven't heard a lot about, some, but not a lot about this.
What people are more familiar with microalgae, which I'm sure like spirulina and chlorella.
Yeah, of course.
Those are different. Yeah, those are microalgae, same as phytoplankton, except that they're microalgae from the lakes. Whereas phytoplankton is from the sea. So they are both microalgae. Just the one spirulina from in the lakes, they are great algae, but they are like single species algae. And in the lakes you have like 2-3 species, and it is nutritious, but not a lot. Just because if you see the lakes, there is not a lot of marine life. There is some, but there is not much.
Right.
And the phytoplankton is kind of the equivalent, but in the sea. So it's way more nutritious because it feeds the whole marine ecosystem. And then if you compare to an algae like kelp, for example, is a single species but macroalgae, versus phytoplankton is a macroalgae, so very small.
So phytoplankton is better to take than something like what's it called? I forget how you.
Spirulina. Well,
spirulina,
it is because it's more nutritious, but both of them are great. It's just two different products.
Got it. Okay, got it. Interesting. So, do you, with the product you have, do you drink it?
So there is different thing. The supplements for humans that we have with Health Canada, it comes in either capsule form, or we also have a powder bag. So this one, the capsule, you take it like once a day. And the powder form, you can add it to your juice, smoothie, water. Personally, I just put water into I just put the powder into the water and drink it like that. But some people prefer the easiness of the capsule. So that's for the supplements for human, which is pretty much when the phytoplankton is still alive, we filter it and dry it, and then we put it in capsule. And for the plant food, which is by far our best seller, we let the products start decomposing, and then when the phytoplankton decompose like any plants, that's when we bottle it.
Right. So when you say
your plants.
So when you say your best seller is the plant food, is that a liquid? Is that a liquid then?
Yeah, it's a liquid fertilizer. It's certified organic, and it's good for all type of plants, flower, vegetable garden, herbs, tropical plants, succulents, like pretty much any plant that you can name is good for it.
Right. Interesting. So what's your biggest challenge with that type of business?
The biggest challenge I would say is reaching the retail market.
Right.
Because there is a lot of I wouldn't say barriers, but depending, it's long process. If let's say if you talk about chain stores, like big chain, right? Big retailer, big box, they have category reviews like once a year. So, it's a very, very long process, very tedious, lots of documents and all that. And if you take like small chain stores, it's distributors that thankfully, we have quite a few in Canada, but still, after the distributor, you need to hire salespeople and go into stores, and they can lead me, and they discounts. So it's very, that part is very tedious and long and difficult.
Right.
It's not because you can have the best product, but if you don't have the people behind that sells it and people that buy it, then it's not going to be a success. So this is a big challenge for us.
Right.
That's what we are. A big part of it comes from educating the customer as well, the client.
Yeah. I would think that's half your battle. Your product is a massive education in it.
Exactly. And especially, for the plant food, it's easier because people are familiar with kelp fertilizer.
Right.
And they see an organic phytoplankton, they know it comes from the sea, like, oh, so it's great. They know it may be a macroalgae, so like it's easy, it's organic, they like it, it's for plants, it's fine.
Right.
A big aspect of the education is for the supplements for humans, because
Okay.
people take that in their bodies, which, I mean, at the end of the day, like if you grow vegetables with a product, it still ends up in your body, right?
Right.
But I think the impact in people's mind is a bit different. So that's, there's a lot of education process on macroalgae, on phytoplankton, and therefore on all our products.
Right. Makes sense. Did you bootstrap, or did you guys raise money when you started?
I know, just we didn't
Right.
raise
Yeah.
money. We just got some loans from the Development Bank of Canada and our personal banks as well, but that's it.
Right. So you guys are all in on your own stuff.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, there is no investor behind. It's just us. We're very small family business still.
Right.
And we intend on staying like that.
Right. And so, yeah, so that's actually a good question. So you want to stay small, but how small would be small, I guess?
So we don't want to stay small, because at the end of the day, we want to bring the product to as many people as possible.
Right.
But we want to keep the business in the family, so we can, we fully control the quality. We don't have to, sorry, not answer any question, but we don't have a hire people that invest money that wants to do something else or whatever.
Yeah.
We want to control fully there's there's a lot of product out there that gets, once they get, they raise a lot of capital or whatever, then maybe they can lose their focus and lose their values.
Yeah.
And that's not what we want. We are 100% in this for the environment, to bring the product, because, and we see it a lot with the fertilizers, right? When you see the Gulf of Mexico, when you see the whole stories with, in the US with big companies, where there is like red algae and, the fertilizer that, create those red algae and kills pretty much every single species ocean there. Our product comes from the ocean, so it's runoff safe, it's 100% natural, it's not going to harm anyone.
Right.
It's safe for gardens. There's nothing that is going to quite the opposite as well. It's going to replenish the soil of nutrients, and so we don't want to maybe be linked to something that could become a conflict as well. So we want to bring the product to many people as possible, because we have the capacity and the production capacity to do so. But we want to fully keep the control on it, just to make sure that our values remain pure and the product remains pure, and so on.
Right, that's good. So when do you guys, like you said, you go from Vancouver to Nanaimo and out that way. So do you actually go and do you work, like help take it out of the ocean and then
no, we have the production team. Me, I'm more on the business side, but
Right.
we have the production team in it's south of Nanaimo, about half an hour south of there.
Yeah.
So all the production happens there. All the suppliers are local. When we say suppliers, like getting our bottles, getting our labels, all of that is local.
Right. So how many between production, between business side, both sides, how many people would you say that you have work for you guys?
So well, at the farm there is about 4 or 5 people working,
Right.
For the production side, and on the business side we have 4 people.
Right.
Well, including we have some that are half part-time, just for
Yeah.
social media and all that, but yeah.
Of course. So are you what's the biggest challenge with the production side of that business?
The production side is okay, to be honest, because we now quite master it.
Right.
So it's fun. We really don't face any challenges with that. We have all the licenses with Health Canada, with the different governmental entities, to pump water, for the licenses, for the safety reports.
Right.
But this is not a problem. I mean, obviously, if there is touch wood, right? But if there is a huge pollution, which has never happened in our area, because there's it's a big body of water with tides and stuff, this will create an issue, but it's not really linked to us. And in terms of production, COVID for us was a good year, the year after COVID. And so before COVID, we made some investment in terms of machinery, just, to bottle the product and to label it more automatically. Yeah. And this has been, a godsend for us, because after it would have been difficult, to get the machinery, and it's even more expensive nowadays. more delays when we saw the supply chain issues. So it was the right call then. And now all our process and production is streamlined. So we are pretty, we don't have any issues on that end. And we don't foresee any issues. Even if we have to produce at maximum capacity, it's not a problem.
Yeah, you guys sure made the right decision on that. If you
Yeah,
made that decision, you might have been a little bit of trouble
I
right
think
now.
we were, like 2-3 months. If the decision would have been made like 2-3 months later, it would have been like a whole lot of not trouble, but more like complicated.
Yeah,
Like you mentioned.
More a lot of complicated and probably a lot more money too.
Yeah.
Right. So good call on that one. So where do you see the whole industry that you're in with this type of product and under the ocean? Like, what do you like? I guess, is it a type of, would you call it like, is it in the seaweed family, would you say?
Yes, like more like the production, yes, is definitely seaweed because it is a seaweed. But our business is really like, if we concentrate on our best seller product is a fertilizer business.
Okay.
And we see that as growing a lot because, as we saw with COVID, like the mindset of people is changing. They want to know where the products are from. They want to be more aware of the things they eat, they grow. Plants are very popular nowadays. And so people, I think, are very aware of what they put into the soil and what they grow with.
Yeah.
So for that, it's good. It's kind of self-education, to come back to what we were discussing before.
Right.
So I think the world is going in that direction, which is great. We are walking away a bit about the chemical, very bad stuff that is bad for you and the environment, your pets and all that, to something more like organic, natural, good for the environment, good for the planet, good for yourself. So that is great. So we see that, and we see a lot of interest in that, and still possibly a lot of growth. And the market is already there, right? We just need to tackle it and, hopefully take market share from other people.
Right. Who are some of the bigger players in that market right now?
Well, you're gonna have Scott, for example, is a huge player.
Okay,
They are linked to, it's part of the Monsanto group.
Right.
So this is a big player, in more on they have organic fertilizers, but mostly known for the chemical fertilizers. So those are like gigantic people.
Right.
On the smaller scales, there is some competition in the US with Neptune Harvest, Fox Farm, Gaia Green is quite known as well.
Right.
But those ones are more like organic as well.
Got it.
A great quality product. But those are the bigger players. And then there is a bunch of other companies that, but we don't know everybody. But
yeah. So
there's a whole commercial aspect to it as well, which we are trying to target, but we're not super familiar just yet.
Right, got it. When you guys started the business, did you guys go do a lot of market research, do a big business plan, and then go to the banks, or was it more of a napkin thing?
No, it was okay. We did put our own money, and then we had a good relationship with the bank. We didn't get much anyway.
Right.
And then, with the the Development Bank of Canada, I think helped a lot. They gave us a bit more, and as part of their entrepreneurs program, which I think is great. I have nothing but great things to say about the BDC and that different program for entrepreneurs. So that was fantastic. But we did like a small business plan. It was nothing out of this world.
Right.
And it was, just explaining our business, some numbers, which, you make projections, right? But you have no idea if you're going to hit them or no.
It's true. Yeah, totally.
It's a big thing. But it was, it is tedious just because it takes a bit of time and that's the first steps. But, we didn't do a lot of market research. We knew that this product was going to work, plant food, because, it checks every single boxes.
Right.
Being natural, organic, vegan, easy for everything, easy to use. There was absolutely no reason for it not to work.
Right.
And so we went in this.
Was it hard to kind of figure out how to get it out of the ocean properly and to get it to the farms and do all that type of stuff with keeping it?
This was okay because we are harvesting the phytoplankton before but just for a supplement. So we had all that side of the business figured out already.
Right.
It was just to create the new brand and add the different line of product, because we added the plant food, which it's a very similar process, except at the end, right? It just switched at the end. And we also added a byproduct of fleur-de-sel sea salt because of all the water that we have that we use right from the ocean. We kept some of it to do sea salt. So which was this was a new process for us, but it's not rocket science, if we can say.
Yeah, got it. So with the business aspect, where's your what would be your next hires that you would hire if you would say, okay, this is what we need to do next to scale the company to the next level?
I think it would be, right now we are very happy because we have brokers that can act like a sales team.
Right.
So if you would want, it would be your own sales team, just dedicated to your own product, right? To see the sales more, at least they are fully concentrated on your brand.
Right.
And then that would be it, or maybe, but as more people to hire, right? If you just say one at some point, maybe somebody linked in the business as well to help the business side of this, business development side of this,
right,
of things. But that's about it. We have in production, like I said, we have no problem whatsoever. In tech, social media, we are covered as well. We have a great person, beyond great person, and then just the sales team.
Right. And so right now with your sales teams, what's the process for that? Are they banging on doors? Is that do they call up the retail stores and then?
They have previous, we have a sales team in Canada and we have a sales team in the US. That we pay is like a third party company.
Right.
So they have contacts that they reach out to already. So they send a bunch of information about the product. Some of them, they visit the stores. In the US, it's more targeted to big chains. So it's more like contact. But in Canada, there's a lot still of, sending information and then contacting them from previous contact because they've been in the business for a long time. So they have their own resources as well. But so it's a bit mix of everything.
Right. And how are you guys what's your structure with salespeople? Are they 100% commission? Or are they salary and commission, or how's your structure with the salespeople?
So those sales companies, and so in the US, it's a flat fee that we pay every month.
Right.
For them, there is no commission base. But in Canada, so there is a retainer, and at some point, and then there is a commission. Until we reach high enough revenue to cover the retainer, then it's just a retainer. But at some point, hopefully, it would be for them and for us, it would be more. And if it's more, it means that we sell well. And that the product in more people's hands, which is great at the end of the day.
Right, makes sense. How about online? Do you guys sell much online, or is it all?
Yeah, that's our biggest thing, on Amazon, on our website, and there's lots of stores nowadays have their own website as well. We have a great relationship with many independent plant stores.
Okay.
And then often they have their own website, but our biggest thing is Amazon for sure. And for us, Amazon has been great in a way that it has exposed the product to a lot of people.
Right.
Pretty much overnight. You can be in the Northwest Territories and have access to our product, right? Which and at a decent price versus those people, for example, maybe they don't have access to this kind of quality product, and definitely not at that price. So it is great. For us, it has made the product available more globally to people across Canada and the US and even in Europe, and that's what we are looking for. We know there is a lot of positive and negative things for Amazon. For us, it has been extremely positive because, like I said before, anything that can bring the product in people's hands in order for it to be more, to use a better product for the environment than another competition that is bad, then for me, that's a win. I have no problem if somebody, if you're going to say, I don't like Marphyl, but I like this product that is organic and natural, great. I don't mind. I don't take it not personally. But when somebody tells me and I see that they use a chemical product, then it hurts because you're like, oh man, what are you doing to yourself? What are you doing to the planet? And to the environment in general, it's not nice.
Yeah, it's true. I think a lot of people just are not, when they do that, they're just not educated enough to understand.
Exactly. And some people don't know necessarily, right? And that is where our job is from as well, to educate them, to talk to them and to help them make a better decision. And then, everybody is free on making their own decision, right? It's a free world. So yeah.
Yeah.
But
Because I mean, I always say if you really got, people are, even say, well, I don't eat meat or or I'm vegan or whatever,
yeah.
which I am. But I tell them too, I said, go look around your house in your cabinets and see how many animal products are in the stuff you're using in your cabinets that you don't know.
Yeah, people don't know exactly, and I think this, one of the benefit of COVID has been that like people being more, I mean, and even in recent years, right? Not just to give the credit to COVID, but in recent years, people are more aware to what they use in their home, right? Not just on
Right.
themselves and in
Yeah.
their bodies, but in their home. They are more aware of what they buy, and that's great. I think that's going in the right direction.
Yeah.
And, hopefully it continues this way.
Do you think the whole kind of vegan and plant-based industry is gonna keep, gonna keep growing?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I hope so. I mean, my wife has been vegan for many years. I've been vegan for 4 or 5 years, and it's not just that. I mean, obviously, we wanted our products to be vegan, our business, and it happens to be vegan. But I do believe so because it's where I think a lot of people are going, and now versus before, like just 10 years ago, the choice is much better. People are more educated.
Yeah.
And just when you give more choice to people, there is more things to take decision, to think about it, to take a step back and realize what's the choice, and maybe more go with the more natural option. And
It's
vegan.
true. It's true. Yeah, there's so much more choices now, and we always start with food, but there's so many different, areas. And, even when I started vegan so long ago, there was like a veggie burger from Costco that like tasted like cardboard. You know what I mean? That's all that was around, right?
Exactly. And nowadays, I mean, you see it in more. You see it in the cars that are like vegan leather everywhere.
Yeah.
And in fancy cars, right? Not just like things like great cars. You see it across the board, like vegan material that is vegan.
Yeah.
Shoes, clothes.
Yeah.
And all that. So and I think that is great. I think that's where we want to go. As a society, I think that's where we should be going to. If there is no alternative, okay. If there is an alternative that is good and better, why not use it?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And we were just at the Vegan Expo here, and one of my friends is speaking from LA, and she was talking about she's a lot with no testing on animals and a lot for the animals' rights and stuff. And she said, it's very interesting because it's actually easier to get the beauty industry, get them to stay with it, because we find that in LA somebody might stop eating certain food for a while, but then they might acquire that taste, and so they kind of go back and they don't think about the animal. But when you put, say, lip gloss on you, you know what I mean, she says they're not thinking about that taste, and as much. So it's easier to keep that product. It's kind of like, well, I can keep the product on my lips that they don't test on animals, or go back to this one. Like it's kind of a no-brainer.
Right? No, it's true. Yeah, it is. It's true. I never thought about it this way, and it's very, very true.
Yeah. We've had so many. Obviously, this. I don't know if you knew this, but when I started doing the podcast, we were doing all business, and now we're just doing a vegan podcast. Yeah, so this one will go in that. Because I work, obviously me being vegan for like, 18, 20 years type of stuff. I speak a lot in the community. And so we just, we just had so many coming in, and I was like, hey, like, let's just do a vegan podcast too, just, for that side. Right. So, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. So it's been interesting. We've been we've been interviewing all from like vegan shoes to people making cell-based meat, to big companies, to small ones, to medium. Like I've interviewed so many different ones, and to be honest, like the amount that I've learned has been phenomenal. Like just that alone for me, I'm like, it's is so
well, yeah, because you're not aware of everything as well. Yeah,
totally. Yeah,
and then that's the beauty of it. There is always like something new to learn and something new to get educated, right? Even if we don't know everything, so and it's great. That's fabulous.
Yeah, it is. It's been really, really good. So many different concepts and different share quick out in New York. There's a guy in New York that started they have like, I forget the name of these things in New York, like big bodegos or, but they're, I don't know if I got,
carts that sell hot dogs and type of
yeah,
thing.
yeah, they sell like all stuff, right? You know, they got that specific name for those, right? And so people go down, you know, they buy their stuff and they have the menus in there, right? So like you can get kind of subs in the back and cooks, right? So he went in and he started putting vegan menus in, and he convinced the first two to be like, hey, let's put a vegan menu beside there. We'll supply all the stuff. And then the first two, he said, they were like, I don't know. I mean, this is New York. I don't think people like, I don't think we're gonna sell very much, but we'll do it. So then about 30 days later, they got both stores calling back and like, holy, this side's selling more than the other side.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, and so now they're moving. They're just now. I think they're in 19 stores and they're moving into 40 now.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's great. And that's the thing. I think like nowadays, when you see every time like you go into pretty much every single vegan restaurant, like fully vegan, I mean, and they are packed. They are absolutely packed at any time of the day. I mean, in Vancouver, it's nuts. Like every single vegan restaurant, it's packed all the time, all day long. You go morning, afternoon, lunch, dinner, it's always busy. So, and that, I mean, as a vegan, that's great to see, but it shows as well that, and you know, what is the most amazing thing to see in those places is that it's not necessarily just vegan people eating there. It's like all kinds, you know, from people that are meat eaters or they just are vegetarians or pescatarians or anything, you know, that don't associate with anything, and they just eat there because, you know, it's good and it's and it's great, and that's I think that's where we want to go as a society.
Yeah, I agree. I haven't tried the one yet, but I guess my team just got a hold of them and I'm going to be interviewing them. It's the vegan place in Vancouver that's sushi, but obviously not sushi, right?
Yeah.
Forget the name of it.
Because there's a new one. I've tried one that's called Kofu.
Oh, Kofu. Yeah, that's who I'm interviewing. Kofu, have you tried it? Did you like it?
Yeah, I tried it. I like it. Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's very nice what they do. And there's another one on Main Street. I forgot the name. They have two because they have the non-vegan one and they have the vegan one.
Okay, yeah.
And it's great as well. It's
Is it? Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go try those. Yeah, awesome.
And there's this donut guy as well. That's amazing too. Plates by Pats. I think it's fantastic what it does.
Right.
It's vegan as well.
Yeah, we got a good vegan community in Vancouver. That we really do.
For sure. But we see, I mean, you know, I like to travel. I mean, and you know, I did my fair share as well, and I fully intend to continue doing so. And there is more and more like popping up a bit everywhere of vegan places, and that's great to see. Even places that you don't expect it, you're like, oh, cool, they're doing more, so it's good.
It's true. Well, I come from the franchising industry, so I brought. You remember the Curves for Women franchises? No. Curves. It was So I brought those to Canada. So those were like my first businesses, right? And so there's a franchise, I don't know if you heard of it, coming out of Toronto called Odd Burger. Have you heard of them?
I've seen them in the news.
Yeah, you know, and so you know, I kind of know the inside scoop on a lot of that. And they're going to, in the next like 6 to 7 months, they're going to have just about 55 locations.
Wow.
So, and I think about who would have ever thought that you would open a fast food exactly the same as McDonald's and go against them that was vegan. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you know, it's nuts. And I think that's beautiful. That's very beautiful.
Yeah, I think they're opening in Vancouver in the next 5 months. I think they open. Yeah.
That's good to looking forward to it then.
Yeah, totally. Exactly. Awesome. Well, yeah, I didn't realize like yours was, I knew you guys were vegan, but I didn't realize it was a full vegan company. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. You know, our product, because it's microalgae, so it's plant, so it's fully vegan.
All right.
Vegan. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Well, I'll have to try it. I come from that, obviously, the health industry. I had big followings. I wrote books in the industry and I used to be all over media and TV and stuff. And I had a big health brand at one time before I built the Actions of Compassion brand. And so I'll definitely try your guys' stuff out.
Fabulous, yeah, for sure. Anytime you want. I mean, reach out if you want or anything. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, since since we're close, I'll send you my number and stuff, and we'll get together.
Absolutely.
Awesome, for sure. Awesome. Well, this has been a great interview. Now, where can they find all your stuff at? Where can they buy it? Where website, social media, all that?
Yeah. So on our website, there is a whole list of store. that, you know, on the website is more, you know, we have all the online ones you can order on our website, obviously. And then there's a list of all the independent stores. You know, we also distributed across Canada. So there's a lot of stores that are being added all the time that we don't necessarily put on the website all the time because, you know, being distributed, we have a bit less visibility on all of those. Right. But we try our best to update everything online. And after, you know, depending on the convenience of people, online might be easier as well, right? But, you know, people can always reach out, and we are always answering every single email. And on Instagram, it's at Marphyl Co. And on Facebook, it's Marphyl official page.
Awesome. So I would highly suggest everybody go check them out, and their product is
Thank you.
Good, clean, healthy, yes. Changes exactly. The world, good for the environment. You can't go wrong with
exactly.
it.
You cannot absolutely go wrong. It's very, you know, if we talk about the plant food, it's very easy to use, used for everything. You know, online, we have over 6,500 reviews. People absolutely love it.
Awesome. So everybody go check them out. Thank you so much. And I'll get my team to send over a couple of clips and my number and stuff, and we'll exchange information.
Fabulous.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks, buddy. Have a great day.
Have a good night. Bye.
Bye-bye.